Tonight on Brumbies TV, the team physio unveils the ins and outs of his job. We recap the Brumbies' massive win before the June break. And Robbie Abel and Michael Wells join us in the studio.
We're here at Brumbies headquarters of Byron Field, the team's physio. Thanks so much for joining us. Understand you're very busy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Now, how did it feel after the big win on Saturday against the Sunwolves?
Yeah, it was a great game, wasn't it? It was, it was a fantastic training week, and I thought the guys took that energy in. I guess, from my end on the side, the biggest thing for me is that everyone came through safe and sound. So it's nice to be able to put the team back on the park, even though we're obviously heading into June now, Brittany. We've got 4 weeks off. We can get a few of those sore bodies back on track, and to have 4 weeks for us to do our work and hopefully get everyone right for a nice tilt at those finals and those final 3 games of the year, and then hopefully a 3-game run through to the final is fantastic. So hopefully we can put just about a full score to make them available for training, which is kind of our main job in that medical area.
Yeah, and I do understand it was absolutely freezing on the field.
Yeah.
Does that change your role as a physio?
It does. I mean, for other coaches, Peter Ryan in particular likes to have hand warmers in his pocket. We don't kind of go to that extent. I think it's a little bit soft.
Yeah.
So the medical staff, particularly known around here, Brittany, for being the harder part of the organisation. So
watching the game, the boys did come across relatively unscathed. Did you have anyone in particular you thought you had to pay attention to, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you always need to keep an eye on someone like Christian Lillifano. He's those gold boots of his. We've got to keep him out there. He's a very valuable player. So if he bends down to do a shoelace, I'm out to see him with a bottle of water or whatever Christian needs. We just need him ticking along all the time. So he's one that I like to keep an eye on. Nigel Wong. There was a point there I thought his hair might have just readjusted itself a little bit, so we had to get out to him and make sure he hears. But in all seriousness, it was a pretty quiet game for the medical side of things, which we're happy with. If we don't do anything, then that's a good night at the office.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the highlights. There's plenty of them.
The Sunwolves made the Brumbies work for their first points, which came in the 12th minute via a cut-out pass to Scott Fardy. Michael Dowsett was called up to starting scrum half to give Tomas Kubeli a rest and nabbed one of the Brumbies' 4 first-half tries. On a Japanese-themed night at GIO Stadium, the Brumbies were serving bread and butter from the set piece.
Lillifano gets through, pops it up on the angle, it's Arwong. Oh, that is awesome.
Christian Lillifano was on fire with the boot. He was also burning smoke trails in the turf.
Lillifano has towed back on his hip. That's slapped down.
Co-captain Stephen Moore earned a rest after producing this 5-pointer.
Moore looking for try number 2.
The Sunwolves still yet to find the line. Stephen Larkham gave some of his younger guard some game time. Jordan Jackson Hope will have his hands inspected for gold after scoring his first Super Rugby try with his second touch.
Cheer the Brums, Jackson Hope.
The Sunwolves had a tough night on the job. The Brumbies made them pay for all mistakes.
To the runners on the outside, here's Dargaville. Have a look at Dargaville at full tilt. Jimmy likes what he sees.
The game was wrapped up before the competition's leading try scorer, Akito Yamada, finally found the line.
Their first try of the night, who else?
The Brumbies decided to attack off a penalty after the siren, and Nigel Wong scored his double. Christian Lillifano doing no harm to his push for national honours, kicking 9 from 10 conversions. The home side now moved to the top of the Australian Conference.
Now, obviously, you're working very closely with some of the injured players like Matt Tamua, Joe Tamani, and Andrew Smith. Do you reckon they'll be ready for the Reds game?
Yeah, look, a lot of them are kind of working very hard, Brittany, against the clock at the moment. So Joey in particular had a nasty injury you would have seen a few weeks back now. So he's one that we're kind of working in the next 4 weeks to make sure he's just about available for selection. He's gone through a lot of pain to get to where he is in the last 4 weeks, and he's an extremely good guy to work with, diligent with his rehabilitation. So I'd expect Joey to be pretty close come that first game back. And look, Matt Samoa, very similar boat. He's had a couple of nasty injuries in the past, so a wonderful guy to work with around his rehabilitation, incredibly professional. So anything we give him, we've got just absolute confidence that he'll tick it off and get his body right and as available as he possibly can.
We've got 3 more games to the final. What are you looking to contribute to the boys to get them ready for that?
We've got 36 players in our squad at the moment, and having as many of them available for selection each week is one thing that we bring to the table, and that sometimes makes you might have to make tough calls around particular players. And like I said, there's barely a week goes by that they'll be 100% ready to go, and getting them as close as we possibly can to that is something that we look to, and just, I guess, bringing the energy. You know, like a lot of the time when they come back from the Test series, it's going to take a little bit of getting that energy back on board, both, I guess, mentally but as well as physically.
Thanks so much for joining us today. You're doing an awesome job with the boys. Got plenty more coming up after the break on Brumbies TV.
The Hurricanes played host to the Highlanders in a grand final rematch. The home side started on the front foot when All Black Sevens player Artie Surveyor scooped on this loose ball.
He'll be too quick. Do you want me to check that? Solid.
The Hurricanes added a second converted try before the defending champions turned to their star fly half for 5 points.
Sliding his way through, and the Highlanders bounce back.
Sopawanga continued to lead his side in attack after the break, leading from the breakdown, ending in prop Daniel Lynott-Brown crashing over.
They scored, and it is Daniel.
3 points the margin. Marty Banks replaced Sopawanga at fly half to nail this penalty and even up the scores. At 20-all, Surveyor became the Hurricanes' hero in the final minutes.
Don't need it. Artie Surveyor scores the winning try.
The Waratahs upset the Chiefs in Sydney. The Crusaders moved to the top of the table with a win over the Blues. The Lions smashed the Bulls and the Rebels returned to the winners' circle. On the ladder, there's a new competition leader. The Lions are also shaping up to be title contenders, and the Brumbies have nudged ahead of the Waratahs. The Rebels have a long climb back into contention, and the Force are just off the bottom.
I think we've got a tournament, a TENS tournament in Mauritius, so there'll be a few leftover guys who go to that, so it's not a bad trip for the guys who aren't going to be in Wallaby duties. And then I think we'll just be back playing club footy, having a bit of a run around there for the couple of weeks, which will be good. I'm sure we'll be demanding good results over there. Holiday time will just be an additional bonus. It's very different, obviously, coming from a sevens background. There's a lot of finer points that you have to readjust to, set piece, and especially being in the forwards, it's baptism by fire. Got my first game over in South Africa against the Stormers. I got about 10 minutes there. Unfortunately, we had a red card, so I had to come back off. But it was good to have the experience, and the guys are always, really welcoming and helpful if I had any questions.
It's a very special group for everyone involved, and it's taken a lot of years to be able to get to this stage in our squad. And in our team. So for me to be a part of that is very special. I mean, there always hasn't always been opportunities here, especially at hooker in the past, but now going forward there seems to have been a little bit more there, and it's good that I get to spend a little bit of time here, especially with Stephen Moore, a bit of experience, well, a whole lot of experience, but for me to get a little bit of experience playing alongside those blokes and hopefully kicking on. I love it. I really do. I mean, we're not always on the end of the best looking results, but I think it's definitely a work in progress, and we knew that was going to be the case. I mean, our family had always been at Royals before that, but we saw there's a bit of an opportunity there to help a club that had been struggling for a long time, and to help ACT Rugby and for us to play together.
It's been good. Great bunch of guys down at White's. Very welcoming again, and obviously helps when the team's winning that everyone's much happier. So it's nice to come into a winning environment, and it's really great being there, and I'm happy there. Had a couple wins. I haven't tasted a defeat with them yet, so hopefully I can keep going with that. Good luck.
So I'm Joe Powell, I'm 21 years old and I'm from Canberra. Well, I first started playing footy at Marist College when I was in Year 4, when I was 10. So I just played Hillam up until Year 12, where I went to Tuggeranong Vikings here, and I've been playing there for 3 years. And then beginning of the end of last year, I got a go with the Brumbies for pre-season, and from there I got 3 games with them this year, and then I signed an EPS contract for 2016. I've always grown up watching the Brumbies, so it's my favourite team. And I guess all the players and that, it's a really good bunch of boys, and it's a really, just love coming here to train all the time. I guess one of the biggest challenges maybe being known to people you don't know, I guess, and a bit of pressure on that. And I guess being a local boy, I suppose a lot of people around here know me and have a bit of expectation on my shoulders. My teammates, well, yeah, they're all really easy to get along with. It helps a heap, I guess, with just asking questions. There's no one in the team who I wouldn't be able to talk to about anything, so I just suppose that's a massive help. I'm not scared of anyone here, and everyone's gets along really well, so it just makes it a lot easier for new guys coming in. With Canberra, everyone says they hate it, but no one seems to leave, and I don't think I'd ever leave unless I had to. I love Canberra, and it's just where I've grown up. It's what I know, so I wouldn't like to leave. Oh, anything really. Just hang with mates, I guess. Interested in building. I was doing a carpentry apprenticeship before I started here, so doing that, and then also maybe do a bit of studying as well. So I suppose growing up as a young kid, I never really thought, I'd ever play for the Brumbies, so just as massive, a surreal experience, running on for the Brumbies for the first time with my friends and family watching. So it was a great experience and one I'll never forget.
I actually had all my brother's friends tell me, we were cheering for the Tars until you ran on, and then we decided to just cheer for you. So it was really good having that many people. I think it tallied about 30 family and friends there, which was staggering. I had my girlfriend's family and even her cousins decided to show up, and we were doing warm-ups behind the post, and I've got her auntie flailing her arms around calling out to me, which was nice and a bit of a laugh before the game to take the edge off. But yeah, I've had a really supportive family.
I think they back themselves quite a bit at set-piece time. They've got a few experienced locks there and a few experienced props there, as well as a lot of good young players coming through. So I know through the first few weeks, and we played them in a trial, and they were quite tough at scrum time as well there. So I think they'll have a crack there. And other than that, they're pretty unpredictable with what they can do with the talent that they've got through the back. So I mean, they always give it a good shake, and especially in I guess games against us, it's become kind of a bit of a rivalry game, bit of a local derby kind of, I guess.
Well, it's always good playing at home. I think we've always done pretty well at home. Obviously, playing against a structured team allows you to really fine-tune what you're going to attack and who you're going to attack in their team. Obviously, if it's unpredictable, it's kind of just, you plan for the best but expect the worst sort of thing. So, we'll be focusing probably mostly on ourselves for that game. The Reds are a young side, and they're building up to something, but hopefully we can just get the better of them on this one.
I think you learn a lot more from observing than anything. You just get to observe the professionalism and the approach to doing your work and to getting better. Even a guy like Josh Man Ray has been around for a long time. 40 years old or something. He's very, very professional, and he definitely gets better every day. A guy like Stephen Moore, he's fine-tuned the things that he finds work for him, and he really backs himself on all those things. And so it's really just helped me to kind of focus on finding what works for me and what I'm going to do moving forward in my career.
It's not bad to learn from two of the best back rowers in the world. They've been really helpful. Obviously, the Brumbies have started to try and make me into a utility through the back row, so I've been watching Poey pretty keenly because obviously I haven't played too much seven, but he's not a bad guy to watch and try learn off. Obviously, there's things he can do that I would only wish to do. So it's just try your best to be your own player, but learn from them when you can. Can't get past the whites, can I? I think we're going really strong, and we base our play just on a really strong forward pack, and the backs finish pretty crisply when they get good clean ball. So, yeah, hard to go past the whites.
It is, definitely is anyone's title.
What kind of a coach?
Yeah, what kind of a coach in terms of your personality and your style?
Look, I'd probably straight down the line. There's only black or white with me, and I say it as it is. I'm relatively aggressive with the players in terms of how I want to get my point across, but they respect that, and if they're black and white and you're honest with them, I learned a long time ago you can't beat the players because they stiff it out of you straight away. So I think I'm just honest and straight down the line. Go! Tough to get around that corner, Blakey. Got to punch down through there. Keep your feet going as you hit it. The majority of the sessions I'm involved in one way or another. With regards to our defensive side of things, I am an assistant coach, but I look after all the defence structure, tackle technique, and everything to do with our defence. And then obviously whatever else is available for me to do with regards to skill acquisition for in the forwards, not so much the backs obviously, but definitely in the forwards. You ready to rock and roll, big boy? What do you got for me? Not too bad. Where's your speed up? Just got to go harder. Yeah, so just go steady to fast, all right? Steady to fast. With 12 months under our belt now, with me working in this position, I think our playing group has improved individually, and that's in that tackle technique sort of work, and also positionally in the way that we defend across the field. It's certainly gone to a new level as well. Hard work is the biggest factor. I probably didn't have the skill level of a lot of other blokes that I played with, and I had to make up for that with just a bit of guts and determination to get ahead, and that always came back to just working hard.
Go Al! Good mate, really good. Excellent, Tyrell.
The big thing with coming back down to the Brumbies is the fact that it's probably been my most enjoyable coaching position to date. Working with Steve and Dan as coaches are fantastic people. I stepped back into home and just fallen back into place where I left off from when my playing career. It's been a wonderful experience to date.
Fans had to wait 9 rounds for the grand final rematch, and Royals started from where they left off. The Vikings were dogged by handling errors for much of the first half, Sam Giltrap diving for his side's first points in the 37th minute. Ben Hine clearly had a spring in his step after extending his contract with the Brumbies during the week.
It's hard to stop Ben Hine that close to the line.
Ernest Su'Vai nailed the first of his 3 conversion attempts, and the Vikings had the lead for the first time. Andrew Robinson was moved to fly half in place of the injured Isaac Thompson and ran to the line all day. Hine had his double in support of this play.
Really well to give it back to Hine.
Wow.
What a try.
Wow.
Royals didn't look like getting back into the game after the 60-minute mark. Replacement winger Nick Murray had the final points, and the home side retained the Alan Walls Scullen Cup.
Vikings now towing it through, and a big try to end the game this afternoon.